Tensions are continuing to run high between the United Nations and Iraqi forces, who have refused to withdraw their troops from Kuwait. Saddam Hussein has accused Kuwait of illegally drilling into Iraq's oil fields, therefore violating a treaty signed between the two nations. After 4 months of warnings and demands, the UN has finally authorized military force against Iraq.
After Iraq's failure to comply to Resolution 660, the UN has passed Resolution 678, which demanded Iraq forces to withdraw troops by next year, January 15th, or all empowered states are authorized to use all means necessary to force them out. The United States are leading the coalition composed of 500,000 US troops and 250,000 troops from the remaining 35 countries. We now go to Jin Lang, who's currently outside of the Canadian Parliament.
Thanks, Abel and Eric. Economic sanctions have been placed on Iraq, and they have been demanded to withdraw their troops by January 15th. It is anticipated that Iraq will back down without any need of military force, but the situation is tense. Canada has joined the 35-country US-led coalition to help enforce the economic sanctions being placed. The government has pledged to send the two destroyers HMCS Terra Nova and Athabaskan, along with a large amount of supplies, medical, and military personnel. If Iraq refuses to back down, this will be Canada's first offensive operation since the Korean War.
The Iraqi invasion has not been kind to the citizens of Kuwait. There have been many reports of human rights violations instigated by Iraqi forces.
We now have a citizen of Kuwait on the line who wishes to remain anonymous. Our caller is going to describe the atrocious conditions that Kuwaitis are suffering through.
The Iraq forces have complete control over Kuwait and have set up a harsh curfew in Kuwait City. The streets of Kuwait City are dominated by Iraqi forces and tanks, and all kinds of rebellion are met with serious punishments. The Iraqi forces are brutal and ruthless, and do not hesitate to use violent force. They hang those who oppose them from buildings and cranes, and set up public firing squads and executions in the middle of the streets for everyone to see. They even use chemical weapons on protesters and civilians to frighten everyone into submission.
We will be covering this story as it continues to unfold. This is Eric Lin.
And this is Abel Chen with your evening BMSSN news. Thanks for listening.